This is a special weekend edition of Sundry News for Saturday, June 6th. We start with the Daily Wire. Minneapolis mayor asks Trump for aid after riots cause at least $55 million in damage.
Say no.
Why not? I mean, why?
Why does the rest of the country have to pay for their immaturity?
Oh, yeah. Well, that kind of aid. I thought
How
you meant
about Minneapolis pays for its own fucking damage? I don't think Minnesota should have to pay for that. Maybe Minnesota. This is the state, but federal? Why? They burn their own shit down. That's insurance fraud. I burn down my house and expect money for it?
Mm-hmm.
Burn down my neighbor's house and expect to get paid for it?
Mm-hmm. Biden's Floyd funeral campaign stunt exposes the elitist left's lies. I read that yesterday.
Yeah.
It was good.
He ain't going to anybody else's funeral.
Yeah.
What, the 14 other people that died during this whole thing? Including a grandfather who was a police captain?
Mm-hmm.
Murdered for a TV? And nobody's talking about it?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no headlines. That man died in the street over a TV. But because it was black on black crime, it doesn't happen. It didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Unemployment rate shocks Wall Street, drops to 13.3%. Biggest one-month job gain since 1939. Woohoo!
It's not a V, it's a rocket ship. Or whatever Trump said. But
I don't know.
Well, yeah. Once you open the economy, people are going to go back to work.
Yeah. Good thing.
It's just more people need to get out there. We need more consumer trust. Consumer confidence, that's words.
Confidence.
Those are words, they go together.
Mm-hmm.
So that people can go out there and spend that money so that there'll be money to pay bills. Because the worst of it is yet to come. It's when all the bills come due and people aren't paying their bills.
And people also need money to rebuild their communities.
Yeah.
After everything burns down.
Well, I'm talking about everybody who didn't burn their house down. They're still looking at bigger problems down the road because, like, even my company's not doing business with big-time companies because of their billing processes. If you're not on a net 30 and you're not paying your bills in 30 days, a lot of companies aren't going to do business with you anymore. So, like, national chain places, they're running out of people to support them because they don't pay their bills for like 3 or 4 months or 6 months. And because people got to keep the lights on, we just gave up a $10 million annual company. And that's
contract.
Like the light end. Yeah, well, it wasn't a contract, but we generated roughly like $25 million a year out of their business. And we just threw that in the bin because they don't pay their bills in 30 days or less.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. Because now it looks like we're going to have to fire 2 guys because we don't get enough hours.
Antifa members discuss violent tactics, eye gouging, destroying your enemy, undercover video claims.
Well, we already knew that.
Yeah, it's not
Crowder
surprising.
infiltrated with not Gay Jared, and they were giving him a knife. They gave him a knife.
Yeah, I know.
People got arrested. The news said no arrests were made. Because the news is all up in the guts of Antifa.
Black Lives Matter, What We Believe page. Disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family. Dismantle cisgender privilege. That's so disappointing. That's the last thing. That's the last thing they should want to be doing.
Disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family.
Yes. As if they haven't already done that.
They have already done that.
That's what I'm saying. As if they haven't already done that.
73% of black children born out of wedlock to fatherless homes. I'm pretty sure that's the normal now, not the Western prescribed nuclear family.
And why the hell does Black Lives Matter care about cisgender privilege? Don't they also enjoy cisgender
privilege? Whoever
privilege?
made the website is some rich white bitch. Because black people don't care about that. Look at the voting record. Everywhere where gay marriage was put on the ballot, it was toppled by black voter turnout.
Should I click on anything? Should I click on anything?
No, none of this interests me, except for that Minneapolis did. But at the same time, we already covered it. No.
Okay.
Everybody else shouldn't have to pay their bills.
Okay.
Pay your own bills.
Here's an email from Hillsdale. Please support Hillsdale and take their free online courses because they're cool. Probably.
Cool story, bruh.
The Daily Yahoo from Yahoo News.
Well, that was some bullshit.
I know. Buffalo cops resign from unit in protest after 2 of their own are suspended for injuring 75-year-old. All 57 members of the Buffalo, New York Police Department's emergency response team quit the unit after 2 officers were suspended for pushing an elderly protester to the ground.
They barely nudged him. Dude fell down because he's a feeble old man, and he cracked his skull open. But they had to hold the line because there was rioters that were coming at him.
Hello, Max.
But almost instantaneously, we're like, call a medic.
Should I pause?
Call a medic. He's bleeding out of his ear. He's bleeding out of his ear.
Should I pause the recording?
No, we're good.
Okay. Detained U.S. Navy veteran freed by Iran as part of deal. I read about this yesterday, too. A U.S. Navy veteran whose family said his only crime was falling in love left Iran on Thursday after nearly 2 years of detention, winning his freedom as part of a deal that spared an American-Iranian physician any more time behind American bars. Well, I read yesterday that the physician was just able to visit his family.
Well, luckily, his only crime was falling in love. Luckily, it wasn't gay love, or they'd have thrown him off a building.
Yeah.
Because in Iran, it's still a death sentence if you're gay. But America's the bad place.
Madeleine McCann parents, don't you mean McCann's parents, suffered some of the worst bullying I've ever seen, said investigating officer. Jim Gamble said the McCann case is pretty unique. I have no idea what the McCann case is. It's from Yahoo News UK.
They lost their 6-year-old daughter a couple of years ago in Peru or Brazil or some shit.
Why did they have her in Peru or Brazil?
Well, apparently some German sex offender got her and raped her and murdered her, but that's the new suspect. They've never found a body. And there was suspicion back in the day that they'd sold her. And stuff, but bullying? Yeah, okay, whatever. Feel for them. They lost a little girl, but suck it up. You don't have to read the internet.
A nurse discovered her husband lives a double life. Rebecca came back from work and realized she needs to put a roof over her daughter's head.
Really? Shocker.
Yeah.
She realized she has to do
I don't understand what this is an ad for. Fresh Edits trending ad? What is that an ad for? I don't know what that is. What's the point? Anyway, oh dear God, what? Drew Brees stands against Trump. Racial justice protests not about the American flag. Oh my God.
Well,
Trump.
when you're bullied into apologizing because you stood up for the flag, and the very next day, somebody else says it after you had to apologize.
Oh, this is from HuffPost.
Yeah. You obviously have to. He didn't stand against Trump. He basically just came out and said it's about racial injustice protests and not about the flag. Pretty much blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, of course, HuffPost.
It's whatever somebody wrote up for him to say so that he'd be a good white person again.
Trump defended Brees' remarks on the national anthem protests, even after Brees apologized and vowed to be an ally to the black community.
He didn't say anything wrong. He said, protest all day. You don't have to disrespect the national anthem. You don't have to disrespect the flag to do it.
Australians rally for Black Lives. Court bans bigger protest. Thousands gathered in Canberra, Australia's capital, on Friday to protest racial inequality in reaction to George Floyd's death in the United States, while a court effectively banned a larger rally planned for Sydney because of the coronavirus threat. Oh, at least some governments still care about that. Somebody's being consistent. The Canberra rally by about 2000, blah, blah, blah. Should I read further?
No, that's boring. It's Australia. Nobody gives a shit about Australia.
Do Australians give a shit about Australia?
Well, yeah. Isaac Butterfield or other people. Maybe.
Mexico daily deaths pass 1,000 barrier with cases soaring. Mexico reported records for both new coronavirus cases and deaths on Wednesday, joining a select and undesirable club of countries that have reported upwards of 1,000 daily deaths. The country had a record daily rise of 3,912 cases for a total of 101,238 and something for Mexico.
It'll probably get worse in Mexico before it gets better. They'll probably mutate again in Mexico because the ready to access, they pretty much hand out antibiotics like candies. Here you have some Skittles antibiotics. But it causes the diseases. By the time they get to America, they get back to us, they're much stronger. That's why tuberculosis is such a big issue down here, because it's resistant to antibiotics because it's already had all the antibiotics, and it's like, give me more. It's like a performance-enhancing drug for those things.
Hey, look. That's timely.
Bearing.
Watch later.
Huh?
Teen siblings create Zoom spelling bee. Following the cancellation of the annual Scripps National Spelling Bee due to COVID-19, this brother and sister created a replacement event and hundreds of kids responded. The winner even secured a cash prize. That's cool.
Is that the one Jason Bateman almost won?
No, that was the Golden Quill.
Yeah.
What's hot?
It's a good documentary.
What's hot is always Yahoo search. It's just all the different.
What's hot?
The
Electrician
different
trade schools you need to know.
Yeah, it's all the different things you can find with Yahoo search.
Why is that dude? Isn't that an electrician?
That's a chick.
Oh, it's a chick. Oh, yeah, that's right, because equality and stuff, because women are electricians, too. Women are electricians.
Trending now. Black Lives Matter.
Hire a DUI lawyer you can trust.
Shh.
No, that's more fun.
Yamiche Alcindor?
Yamiche Alcindor.
I don't know. Coronavirus. Hey, it's number 3. It's usually number 2 if it's there at all.
Jack Nicholson.
Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish.
She's the chick that was in Night School with Kevin Hart and other stuff.
Do I like her?
I don't know. She's alright, I guess.
Yeah, she looked gargantuan next to Kevin Hart.
She's not that kind of gargantuan, though. She's pretty.
Yeah. But then again, a 3-year-old looks gargantuan next to Kevin Hart.
Concealed weapons permit. Hey. Number 6.
All right. Guns are 6th.
Monica Moscato. I don't know who that is. Moscato.
Muscatel?
I don't know.
Is she hot?
I don't know. I just said I don't know who that is. Vanessa Morgan. Uggs.
She sounds hot.
Vanessa's. Something about the name Vanessa.
Yeah, but she's got 2 hot girl first names.
Uggs slippers.
Wait, Vanessa Morgan. Is that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife? I don't want to get on Negan's bad side.
I have no idea. Toyota RAV4 sale.
What's an Ugg slipper?
That's the furry boots.
But those are boots.
But
What are slippers? What
I
are the
guess
slippers
they're furry slippers. I don't want to click on that.
Toyota RAV4 sale?
Apparently there's a sale of Toyota RAV4s.
Those are nice little go-karts. Makes you want to get dirty.
Okay. That's all.
That's it?
That's all. I only had 2 emails.
Oh.